because to speak something on Sri Madhvacharya's teachings is actually, it's a rare opportunity. And recently there was a very big Vidwan of a very a big personality of Sri Madhva Sampradaya, whose name is Sri Banaji Govindacharya. He left his body recently, and the Karnataka government, they cremated him with state honors. A very big Madhva personality, and edited many Sanskrit works. Recently he has left this world, but I think the Madhva Sampradaya especially, it is such a special Sampradaya. It is connected, we are connected in fact directly to that Sampradaya, and it's important to understand its teachings. I'm very thankful, Prabhu, that you have kindly invited me here.
Thank you.
Before I begin, Prabhu, I would just like to request Jai Dwarka, Prabhu, if you can give me recording permission, so I will start the recording. Yes. Okay. So, whose name is
Yes, Fauzi, it's started.
he left his body recently, and I'm asking on the Zoom recording permission, if that permission can be given.
Sure, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Okay.
I think for that we have to make you the host.
Co-host. You can make me a
co-host. Yes, Prabhuji. Jadar Prabhu, are you doing that?
Okay. Okay. Meanwhile, I'll begin with Mangalacharan. And meanwhile, this co-host permission can be given till the time I'm performing Mangalacharan. Thank you once again, Prabhu, for kindly inviting me. I'll begin with Mangalacharan. Devotees are already familiar with all of these verses, so they can kindly sing along with me. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले सोऽयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, निताई गौर प्रेमानंद हरि हरि बोल। So thank you once again very much, dear devotees, for kindly inviting me here today to speak something on the 9 pillars of Sri Madhvacharya's philosophy. So this is the topic of our presentation today, 9 pillars of Sri Madhvacharya's philosophy. And I would like to begin my presentation on this topic. Once again, I am very thankful to you, Amog Leela Prabhu, to Jai Dwarka Prabhu, to all the wonderful devotees at ISKCON Dwarka for kindly inviting me here and giving me this opportunity to speak something about such a great acharya, such a prominent acharya in our sampradaya. Sri Madhvacharya, in it is said in the Madhva Sampradaya, na Madhava samo devo, na cha Madhva samo guru. In Hindi we will say, भगवान माधव के समान कोई देवता नहीं है और मध्व के समान कोई गुरु नहीं है. Or in English we will say, there is no deity equivalent to Lord Madhav, there is no guru equivalent to Sri Madhva. So this is our glorification of Sri Madhvacharya, and in our sampradaya he holds such a vital place, such an important place. Therefore our sampradaya is known as Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So that is the name of our sampradaya, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. Sometimes some individuals say that our sampradaya is completely distinct from Madhvacharya sampradaya. It is not connected to Madhvacharya sampradaya. But the fact is that our previous acharyas have clearly, in their books, they have mentioned this connection with Sri Madhvacharya. Sri Kavi Karnapur in his Gaur Ganodesh Deepika has clearly mentioned Sri Madhvacharya as the acharya of our lineage. Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan in his Prameya Ratnavali has clearly mentioned Sri Madhvacharya's name in his lineage. So, therefore, these prominent acharyas have clearly mentioned the link with Sri Madhvacharya, and anybody who is unbiased will carefully consider this and unbiasedly accept that Sri Madhvacharya is in fact, we are connected to him in lineage. So if we are connected to Sri Madhvacharya in lineage, then why are we not exactly following the rules, rituals, regulations that they follow? Because their tilak itself is different, our tilak is different. There are some differences. If we are in Madhvacharya Sampradaya, we should follow the exact point to point. So the point is, we are Shakha Bhed. Shakha Bhed means we are a branch of the Sampradaya. See, a branch is connected to the main trunk, yet a branch also has a distinct identity of its own. Please try to understand what is the meaning of Shakha Bhed. Shakha Bhed means a branch is connected to the main trunk, but it also has distinct qualities of its own. Fruits grow on a branch. Fruits don't grow on the main trunk. So similarly, this fruit of Krishna Prem, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Gaura Prem has grown on the Shakha of Sri Madhva Sampradaya. So this is what we are exactly. We are a Shakha Ved, or we are a branch of Sri Madhvacharya's Sampradaya. So today it is my great good fortune that I am presenting these 9 pillars of Sri Madhvacharya's philosophy for ISKCON of Dwarka, New Delhi. Now, before I begin, I'd like to begin with an introduction to Sri Madhvacharya, and who better than Srila Prabhupada to introduce the personality. So, I will begin with the words of Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada is going to speak about the appearance of Sri Madhvacharya and some of the main works of Sri Madhvacharya. So let's see what Srila Prabhupada says. Srila Prabhupada says, Sripad Madhvacharya took his birth near Udupi, just west of Sahyadri. This is the chief city of the South Kannada province, basically South Karnataka province, and is near the city of Mangalore, which is situated to the south of Udupi. Near the city of Udupi is a place called Pajaka Kshetra. So many of us might have visited Pajaka Kshetra in our Tirtha Yatras, where Madhvacharya took his birth in a Shivalli Brahmana dynasty as the son of Madhya Geha Bhatta. So his father's name, Srila Prabhupada mentions, is Madhya Geha Bhatta. In the year 1040 Shakabda or that is 1118 AD. According to some, he was born in the year 1160 Shakabda or 1238 AD. So this Srila Prabhupada is mentioning this in the purport to Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, 9th chapter, verse number 245. So Srila Prabhupada has spoken this thing. Srila Madhvacharya's father's name is Madhya Geha Bhatta. What is the meaning of Madhya Geha? Madhya Geha means he whose home is in the center of the village. That is the meaning of Madhya Geha. Madhya Geha Bhatta is his father's name. Mother's name is Vedavati. So please, dear devotees, mother's name of Sri Madhvacharya is Vedavati is the name. Such an auspicious name, Vedavati. So Vedavati is the name of Saraswati because she is always endowed with the four Vedas. So Vedavati is the name of Sri Madhvacharya's mother. So this information, because Srila Prabhupada has given two different years of birth for Sri Madhvacharya's appearance. So some are saying 1118 AD, some say 1238 AD. So there is a difference of 100 years, approximately 120 years in these two appearance dates. The difference of these two appearance dates is because there was a German scholar, his name was Dr. Buchanan. And Dr. Buchanan, he did extensive research in this province of South Canara, that is South Karnataka. And in this research, he found out these two dates. And he printed these two dates in his publication called District Manual of South Canara. Now, after publishing this in this manual was accepted by many Vidwans. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also accepted the conclusions of this manual, and he printed it in his commentary to Chaitanya Charitamrita. From Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's commentary, Srila Prabhupada took it as it is, and he has given it as it is in his own commentary on Chaitanya Charitamrita. So whatever information we have about Sri Madhvacharya's birth date, birth year, it comes from this source, District Manual of South Canara, by a German scholar whose name is Dr. Buchanan. Now, his exact date of appearance in the Sampradaya is Ashwin Shukla Dashami, which means the 10th night or 10th day of the bright fortnight of the month of Ashwin. This is the appearance day of Sri Madhvacharya on the Vaishnava calendar. So in Vedic calendar, this is how dates are marked. Ashwin Shukla Dashami. So this is how we are marking the appearance day of Sri Madhvacharya. Now, Srila Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and all the previous historians also have recorded the literary works of Sri Madhvacharya. How many works did Sri Madhvacharya compose mainly? So what are the main works of Sri Madhvacharya? This is what we have to see. So if we see the main works of Sri Madhvacharya, we will find that there are approximately 30 works which are said to be composed by him. First is his Gita Bhashya. Gita Bhashya means it is his commentary on the Bhagavad Gita. Then he wrote another explanation called as Gita Tatparya Nirnaya, another explanation on Bhagavad Gita. Then is his Brahma Sutra Bhashya. Brahma Sutra Bhashya is his commentary on the Vedanta Sutras. Then is his Bhagavat Tatparya Nirnaya. It is his commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. Then he wrote Bharat Tatparya Nirnaya, which is his small explanation on the Mahabharata. Then he has written Dashopanishad Bhashya. Then his commentary on the 10 Upanishads. Isha, Katha, Kena, Prashna, Mundak, Mandukya, Aitareya, Taittareya, Chandogya, and Brihadaranyaka. This is the Dashopanishad Bhashya. So he has written his commentary on 10 Upanishads. Then Rig Bhashya, this is a small explanation of selected hymns of the Rig Veda. Then Anu Bhashya is another concise commentary on his Brahma Sutra Bhashya. So another concise explanation of his Brahma Sutra Bhashya. Then there is Krishnamrita Maharanava. This is like his Hari Bhakti Vilas explaining why Ekadashi should be followed, when should it be followed. Ekadashi is of two types, mixed Ekadashi, pure Ekadashi, all those things are covered here. Then is Tantra Sar. Tantra Sar is all the practical deity worship related compilations. And Sadachar Smriti is also related to day, good behavior and worship of Lord Vishnu. Then there is his glorification of Lord Vishnu as the Supreme, Dwadasha Stotra. Then he has also written some Kavya Grantha. Kavya means some poetic works, which is Yamaka Bharata. The Mahabharata is being explained using the poetic figure of speech known as Yamaka. Yamaka means rhyme. So using rhyming words, he has explained Mahabharata. Then there is instructions for sannyasis in Yati Pranavakalpa. Then he has explained about Janmashtami specifically. He has written a work called as Jayanti Nirnaya. The Jayanti is the exact date of appearance of Lord Krishna. In modern times, any person's birthday is, they call it Jayanti. But actually, Jayanti refers only to the appearance day of Krishna. Not even the appearance day of Balram can be called as Jayanti. Only the appearance day of Krishna is called as Jayanti. Then there is another poetic work, Nakhastuti. Then Anuvyakyan is another work on Vedanta. Nyaya Vivaran is all the Nyaya related concepts that are there in his Brahma Sutra Bhashya. He has put in Nyaya Vivaran. Then there is Praman Lakshanam, just like we say like we have Tattva Sandarbha where all the Pramanas are given. So he also has a similar literature called as Pramana Lakshanam. Then Mayavad Khandanam is his work where he is trying to disprove the philosophy of Advaitavad, which is also known as Mayavad. Then Upadhi Khandanam is another literature where he is disproving this philosophy of Vivartavad. Then Tattva Vivekaha and Tattva Sankhyanam. These two are about Tattva. What is Tattva? In Madhvacharya Sampradaya, there are two Tattvas. So just as Madhvacharya is always having two fingers, this is two Tattvas. What are the two Tattvas? One is Swatantra and one is Aswatantra. These are the two Tattvas. Swatantra is independent, Aswatantra is dependent. There are two Tattvas or two truths in Madhvacharya Sampradaya, Swatantra and Aswatantra. So these two truths these two are known as Tattvas. So Swatantra is Lord Vishnu and Jiva is Paratantra, Aswatantra. So Vishnu and Jiva are the two Tattvas of Sri Madhva Sampradaya. So those are being explained in this Tattva Sankhyanam. And Prapancha Mithyatvanumana Khandanam is about disproving the impersonal philosophy that this world is mithya, or this world is false. And Tattvodhyotah is also about Tattva, these two Tattvas that I spoke of. Katha Lakshanam is a very specific literature about how to have discussions based on Nyaya Shastra. Sometimes two people get into a debate. How to organize a proper debate, what are the characteristics of a proper debate, who should be the judge of a proper debate, all these things. Then there is Karma Nirnaya. Karma Nirnaya is also about some explanation about Vedic verses. And Vishnu Tattva Nirnaya is also deciding about the supremacy of Lord Vishnu. So these are in short the directly written works of Sri Madhvacharya. These are the main works. There are some other smaller works also, but these are the main works of Sri Madhvacharya that most followers of him refer to. So having seen his works, we should understand that our Sampradaya, Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, is connected to Sri Madhvacharya Sampradaya as we are a Shakha Bhed or a branch of Sri Madhvacharya's Sampradaya. Our Acharya, Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan, in his Prameya Ratnavali, has glorified Sri Madhvacharya. So, Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan has said in his Prameya Ratnavali, this is the verse that he has composed. I will try to sing this verse. आनंद तीर्थ नामा सुखमय धामा यतिर्जिया संसारार्णवतरणिं यमिह जनः कीर्तयन्ति बुधा. So he has said in his Prameya Ratnavali, Ananda Tirtha Nama Sukhamaya Dhama Yatir. So Yati, may that sannyasi who is Sukhamaya Dhama, who is the abode of all happiness, Ananda Tirtha Nama, and whose name is Shri Ananda Tirtha, because Sri Madhvacharya's name, one of his name is Shri Ananda Tirtha. Jiyat, may he be victorious. Samsararnava Tarinim Yam Yah Jana Kirtayanti Buddha. So Buddha Jana, intelligent souls, Kirtayanti, they glorify him in this world as Samsara Arnava Taranim, as a boat to cross over the Arnav, the ocean of samsara, of material world. So this is the translation. May the abode of happiness Sri Madhvacharya, also known as Sri Ananda Tirtha, Yati, that is sannyasi, be victorious. Intelligent souls glorify him as the perfect boat to cross over the ocean of material existence. So this is a verse composed by Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan in the glorification of Sri Madhvacharya. So direct indication that we are connected to him. Srila Jiva Goswami in his Tattva Sandarbha also acknowledges the importance of all the works that Sri Madhvacharya has composed, and he takes so many references from Sri Madhvacharya. So this is a small verse in his glorification, because before we begin speaking something about him, we should glorify a personality so that he will protect us on this path of explaining his philosophy. Now, before we begin explaining something, we should try to understand what is the meaning of the name Madhva, because it's a Madhva Acharya. So Acharya we understand, Achinoti Chashastarartham. We know the verse, one who practices what he is speaking, and whatever he speaks is from Shastra. That is Acharya. But what is the meaning of the name Madhva? Because sometimes some individuals mispronounce his name as Madhva Acharya. So, or Madhava Acharya. No. The name is Madhva. Madhva Acharya. So the name is Madhva. And what is the meaning of the name Madhva? We have to see. So this was not his initial name. In his childhood, his parents gave him the name Vasudev. So this is his childhood name was Vasudev. Very auspicious name. And only after sannyas did he get the name Madhva. Or Madhva is actually, the meaning of Madhva is Madhuram. This is Rig Veda. There is a term Madhva in Rig Veda 8th Mandal, 69th Sukta, 7th hymn. So there is the term Madhva there, and Sayanacharya in his commentary says Madhva is Madhuram. So Madhva basically means sweet. And also he had some sannyas names. His sannyas name is Purna Pragya, and another name is Ananda Tirtha. So these are his two names after sannyas, and the third name is Madhva. So in the Madhva Sampradaya, there is a verse which explains the meaning of the term Madhva. So this is a rare verse, but I have managed to locate and translate it. So this is the verse popular in the Madhva Sampradaya which explains the meaning of the term Madhva. It says Madhvityananda Uddishto Veti Tirtham Udahritam Madhva Ananda Tirtha Syat Tritiya Maruti Tanuhu. So it is this verse is giving the explanation of the name Madhva, and it correlates it to his other name Ananda Tirtha also. So let's see how it is. It says Madhu iti Ananda Uddishto. So Madhu equal to Ananda. Madhu means joy or happiness. And Va iti Tirtham Udaharitam. And Va means Tirtha. So Madhu equal to Ananda, Va equal to Tirtha. So Madhu and Va become Madhva, and Ananda and Tirtha become Ananda Tirtha. So Madhva Ananda Tirtha Syat Tritiya Maruti Tanu, and he is considered to be the third incarnation of Maruti, that is of Sri Hanuman. So the term Madhu means Ananda. So Madhu equal to Ananda, joy, and the syllable Va means Tirtha, abode. So thus Madhu plus Va becomes Ananda plus Tirtha, that is abode of joy, who is the third incarnation of Hanuman. Now somebody who's a grammarian may say Madhu and Va don't combine to give Madhva. They combine to give Madhuva, not Madhva. So there is a problem in this combination. So it is said in Sanskrit grammar, it is said, Prishodaradini yathopadishtam. Some words are accepted as they are explained by previous acharyas. So here Madhu plus Va becomes Madhva because some previous great soul has explained it like this. So that is the explanation behind this. So Madhva is, the meaning of Madhva is Ananda Tirtha, that is abode of joy. So this is the meaning of the name Madhva. So this we have seen. Now we have to come to our main topic, and our main topic today is to explain the philosophical positions taken by Sri Madhvacharya. Now, in order to explain the philosophical positions taken by Sri Madhvacharya, we have to understand that Sri Madhvacharya, he has commented primarily upon the Prasthanatrayi. What is the Prasthanatrayi? Prasthanatrayi means there are three philosophical literatures that Sri Adi Shankaracharya initially commented upon. So we have to first understand what is the meaning of the term Prasthanatrayi. The meaning of the term Prasthana means to go somewhere. To go where? To go on the path of liberation is called as Prasthana. So there are three paths which lead to liberation. What are the three paths which lead to liberation? The first is called as Shruti Prasthan, the path of the Vedas. So if somebody follows the path of the Vedas, especially the Upanishads, so that is called as the Shruti Prasthan, the path of liberation through the direct Vedas. And in this, Sri Adi Shankaracharya commented upon the 10 Upanishads. Isha, Kena, Katha, Prashna, Mundaka, Mandukya, Aitareya, Taittareya, Brihadaranyaka, Chandogya. Dashopanishad. This is called as Shruti Prasthan. Second is Smriti Prasthan, the path of liberation by hearing the Smritis. So in this, Sri Adi Shankaracharya commented upon Bhagavad Gita. Third is Nyaya Prasthan, path of liberation through logic and argumentation. So this is, on this path is Brahma Sutra, and this was also commented upon by Sri Adi Shankaracharya. Now, he commented upon these three prasthanas, and these three prasthanas or these three paths of liberation are called as Prasthanatrayi. Now, his commentary on these three prasthanas, it revolutionized the entire philosophical scene of India, Bharatvarsha at that point of time, because Bharatvarsha or India at that point of time was overtaken by many other philosophies which were non-Vedic. For example, Buddha, Jain, Charvak, etc. So many such philosophies had taken over the philosophical scene of Bharatvarsha or India at that point of time. And Sri Adi Shankaracharya, in order to revive Vedic culture, he commented upon and established the superiority of these three prasthanas, Shruti Prasthan, Smriti Prasthan and Nyaya Prasthan. Now, what happened is that actually these three prasthanas, they should be called as Vaishnava Prasthanas. Why should they be called as Vaishnava Prasthanas? Because these three prasthanas have been composed by Vishnu himself. Brahma Sutra has been composed by Vyasadeva, who is literally is incarnation of Bhagavan Vishnu. Bhagavad Gita is spoken directly by Bhagwan Krishna, and the Upanishads have come from the breathing of the Purusha. So all these should actually be known as Vaishnav Prasthana. And it is said in the Bhagavad Gita, Vedaischa sarvair ahameva vedya. Through all the Vedas, I, Krishna, or I, Vishnu, am to be known. But in the explanation on these Prasthanatraya, which was given by Adi Shankaracharya, many individuals began to feel that Lord Vishnu has been kept aside and given a secondary position, and impersonal Brahman has been given the primary position. And many individuals, even at the time of Sri Adi Shankaracharya, they were not happy with such a presentation of the Prasthanatraya. They always felt that in the Prasthanatraya, Lord Vishnu should be glorified as the supreme absolute truth, not the impersonal Brahman. So, even when Adi Shankaracharya was present on this planet, one time he was visiting a temple, and the pujari of the temple knew that, what is his philosophy. And the pujari of the temple clearly asked him this thing, because this is mentioned in his own biography, Shankar Digvijay. In Shankar Digvijay, it is mentioned, Vijnanavadasya chakim vibhedakam bhavan matam bruhi tatah param braja. So the pujari stopped him on the path when Sri Adi Shankaracharya was visiting a temple. The pujari stopped him and said, you want to visit the temple, but first tell me, Vijnanavadasya chakim vibhedakam. What is the difference between your philosophy and the philosophy of the Buddhists? Bhavan matam bruhi. Speak, what is the difference? Tatah param braja, then you can go inside. So this is the translation. In the 12th chapter of Shankar Digvijay, verse number 48 says, move ahead only after telling me what difference there is between your philosophy and those of the Vijnanavadis, that is the Shunyavadi Buddhists. So even in the physical presence of Adi Shankaracharya, there were individuals who were very clearly of the opinion that while presenting his commentary on the Prasthanatraya, many elements of Buddhism have been included, and it does not really represent the complete Vedic opinion of Lord Vishnu being the highest truth in the Vedas. So therefore, as soon as he wrote his commentary on the Prasthanatraya, there were always individuals who were dissatisfied. Recently, I saw a video on YouTube in which uh, there is the Shankaracharya of one of the four mathas in India. He is unhappy with our society, ISKCON, and he has made a specific video, and the title of the video is कि इस्कॉन वाले शंकराचार्य को मायावादी क्यों कहते हैं. In Hindi, English, it means why do these ISKCON walas call Shankaracharya as a Mayavadi. So, and then he goes about to speak something negative about, he speaks about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then he says something negative about the ISKCON devotees. Short and sweet, he doesn't have a very favorable opinion, and he doesn't like it that we call them Mayavadis. So, the fact, however, is that it is not the ISKCON devotees who first, are calling Advaitavadis as Mayavadis. There are many who before ISKCON, before Madhvacharya also, they were calling the Advaitavadis as Mayavadis. So why were they calling them as Mayavadis? This we have to see today. We will see why Adi Shankaracharya's philosophy is termed as Mayavad, that we will also see today. But one thing we should understand is that as far as the personal character of Sri Adi Shankaracharya is concerned, as far as his renunciation is concerned, for that we should have complete respect. So, although we have some severe disagreements with the philosophy of Sri Adi Shankaracharya, that does not result in any sort of dislike of his personal character or his renunciation or his knowledge. So, this is something which we should all try to understand. Now, in Sri Adi Shankaracharya's Sampradaya, we should understand that we have to look at what is Pramana and Prameya. So, what is Pramana and Prameya? What is the main topic to be understood and how to understand it? So, first we should understand what is the meaning of Mana. Mana means the means of understanding or means of measuring something, and Meya means what is the topic to be understood or what is the topic to be measured. We add pra to both Praman and Prameya. So, Prameya basically is truth to be understood. So, this is the meaning of the term Prameya. Prameya means what truth should be understood in any Sampradaya. So, if we say in Adi Shankaracharya Sampradaya, what is the Prameya, what is the truth to be understood in Sri Adi Shankaracharya Sampradaya? So, the truth to be understood in Sri Adi Shankaracharya Sampradaya is as follows. In one verse, it is been summarized. What is it? Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparah Anena Vedyam Satshastram Iti Vedanta Dindima. So, according to Sri Adi Shankaracharya's philosophy, Brahma Satyam, the impersonal, attributeless, formless Brahman is the only absolute truth. Jagan Mithya, the world that we see in front of us, is illusion. On the ultimate paramarthic level, it is an illusion. Jivo Brahmaiva, and Jiva is one with the supreme absolute Brahman, na aparaha, never distinct from it. It is not separate from Brahma. Anena, by these truths, Vedyam Sat Shastram, all bona fide Shastra should be understood. Iti Vedanta Dimdimaha, this is the loud proclamation of Vedanta. So, this is the Prameya or the topics to be understood in Sri Adi Shankaracharya's Sampradaya. So, this is what they say. Brahma. What is Brahma? Brahma is that which pervades everything. That substance which pervades everything. We cannot see it, we cannot touch it, we cannot feel it, we cannot taste it, we cannot smell it. It is within me, it is within you, it is within everyone, it is everywhere. There is no place where it cannot be. Just like there is water in an ocean, it is present everywhere. It is outside the fishes, water is inside the fishes, everywhere it exists. The fishes do not understand what is water because they are all surrounded by water. Their body is water, everything is water. Similarly, in Adi Shankaracharya's philosophy, this is Brahma. It has no qualities, attributeless, impersonal, all present everywhere, but cannot be experienced by any of the material senses. This is Brahman in Sri Adi Shankaracharya's philosophy. So, if we understand this is the only truth, and Brahman has no shape, no form, no color, no smell, no taste, no touch, no any qualities or attributes. So, but the world we see around us is having all qualities and attributes, and everything is there here. So, what are we seeing in front of us? So, all of that is a transformation of Brahman. Maya has covered Brahma, and therefore we are able to see these transformations of Brahman. All the transformations that we see are nothing but Brahma covered by Maya. So that is what is, all these, this Jad Jagat is nothing but that. So once the covering of Maya is removed, all shapes, all sizes, all forms, all colors, everything will cease to be. And what will remain is only one. So that is their one tattva. Madhvacharya Sampradaya, two tattvas, Hari and Jiva. But only one tattva in Sri Adi Shankaracharya Sampradaya, that is Brahma. So this is the Prameya to be understood in Sri Adi Shankaracharya Sampradaya. Now, there is no mention of Lord Hari or Vishnu or anything in this philosophy as being the supreme absolute truth. The supreme absolute truth is Brahma. in Sri Adi Shankaracharya's philosophy. So it is obvious that many philosophers were not very happy with such a presentation of the Vedas. And just after Sri Adi Shankaracharya's time, within a maybe 50 or 100 years, there were objections that were coming. Various personalities started writing their objections against the presentation of Vedanta Sutra. The sharpest and earliest criticism perhaps came from a Tridandi sannyasi named Bhaskaracharya. So Sri Bhaskaracharya, he wrote his commentary on Vedanta Sutras, and in his commentary he very clearly said, ये तो बौद्ध मतावलंबिनो मायावादिनः तेप्यनेन न्यायेन सूत्रकारेणैव निरस्ता वेदितव्या. So in his commentary, Bhaskaracharya's commentary to Vedanta Sutra 2.29, he said that those Mayavadis who are clinging to the opinions of the Buddhists are disproved by the logic of the composer of Brahma Sutras, that is Vyasadeva himself. So somebody say, because recently I heard that one of the Shankaracharya is saying, why do the ISKCON devotees call Shankaracharya as Mayavadi? It is not the ISKCON devotees who have started this trend. This trend was started just after a few hundred years after the disappearance of Adi Shankaracharya, and Bhaskaracharya, he was the one perhaps to initially give this term Mayavadi. And where exactly he gave this term, I have given the reference here in his commentary to Vedanta Sutra. So why they are known as Mayavadi, this also we will see. Why not Advaitavadi? Because Advaita means they say there is no difference between Jiva and Brahma. So they should be called as Advaitavadi. But why were they termed as Mayavadi by Bhaskaracharya? This we will have to see, which we will come to later. But it, it is undoubtedly true that Sri Adi Shankaracharya's writings they turned the tide of philosophy in India, and Vedic culture was, once again the talk of the entire town because of his presentation of the Prasthanatraya. Now, coming to Sri Madhvacharya's Sampradaya, Sri Madhvacharya was not at all happy with the presentation of the Prameya, or the main topic to be understood. The Prameya presented by Adi Shankaracharya was that Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya, that Brahma is the only truth and the Jagat or the material world is Mithya. The material world is false. So he was not happy with this, because Madhvacharya himself was born in a Shivali Brahmana family. He had studied the Vedas, and he knew that in the Vedas it is Lord Vishnu who should be glorified. So Sri Madhvacharya, he said that Prameya means what truth should be understood from the Vedas. So Sri Madhvacharya gave us 9 truths to be understood from the Vedas. So what are the 9 truths? These 9 truths are listed by Sri Jayatirtha as well as Srila Baldev Vidya Bhushan in our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So the 9 important truths which we should understand, which make us distinct from the philosophy of Sri Adi Shankaracharya, are the 9 Prameyas of Sri Madhvacharya. So these are summarized in this verse of Srila Baldev Vidya Bhushan, which is inspired from a verse of Sri Jayatirtha of the Madhva Sampradaya. So this verse is in the Prameya Ratnavali. We can find this verse. I will sing this verse. श्रीमन्मध्वमते हरिः परतमः सत्यं जगत्तत्त्वतो भेदो जीवगणा हरेरनुचरा नीचोच्च भावं गता मुक्तिर्नैज सुखानुभूतिरमला भक्तिश्च तत्साधनम् यक्षादित्रितयं प्रमाणमखिलां नायैकवेद्यो हरे. So these are the 9 prameyas that we should understand. These are the 9 important topics to be understood in Sri Madhvacharya's philosophy. In all the Vedic literature, these are the 9 main topics that we should understand. What are the 9 main topics that we should understand? Shriman Madhva Mate, according to Sri Madhvacharya's opinion, Hari Paratama. Hari is the supreme absolute truth of the Vedas. Please try to understand. Not Brahma, but Hari. Lord Vishnu is the supreme absolute entity in all of creation. And Satyam Jagat. And Sri Adi Shankaracharya says Jagan Mithya, but Sri Madhvacharya says Satyam Jagat. Jagat is not Mithya. It is Satya. It is true. What you see in front of your eyes is not simply an illusion. It is not simply a mirage. So it is actually a fact. Tattvata, it is fact from Tattva. From a Siddhantic perspective, it is the world is true. Bhedo Jiva Gana. And the Jiva Gana, there is a Bheda, there is a difference between the living entities and Lord Hari. There is an eternal difference. Harer Anuchara. And all the Jivas are Anuchara, they are servants of Hari. Nichocha bhavam gata. And there is hierarchy, there is gradation in the realizations, levels, happiness experienced by the jivas. Not all jivas are not the same. Muktir naija sukhanubhutir. What is liberation? Liberation is nija sukhanubhuti, the bliss of self-realization. That is mukti. And how to attain that mukti? Says amala bhaktischa tat sadhanam. The only means to attain mukti is to perform bhajan or bhakti of Bhagwan Hari. And how do we know all this? So we know it through pramanas or through the means of knowledge. What are the 3 pramanas? Yakshaditritayam pramanam. There are 3 pramanas. Pratyaksha pramana, Anuman pramana, Shabda pramana. These 3 are the pramanas. And Akhilamnayaik Vedyo Hari. Akhila, Amnaya, I mean all the Vedas, Eka Vedya, the only person to be understood is Hari. The only personality to be understood in all the Vedas is Lord Hari. By understanding Hari, we will understand Brahma, Paramatma, everybody else, every other entity will be understood by understanding Hari through the Vedas. So these are the 9 prameyas. First is Shriman Madhvamate Hari Paratama. Hari is the Sarvottama, the greatest entity. Satyam Jagat, the world is real. Bheda Jiva Gana, there is a categorical difference between Ishvara, the Lord, and Jiva, the soul. And this is an eternal difference. This is called as Jiva Esha Bheda. And Hare Anuchara, the Jivas are all Hari's followers. They are all servants of Lord Hari by their constitution. And Nichocha Bhavam Gata, there is hierarchy, Taratamya, hierarchy amongst all the living entities. All living entities are not the same. And Muktir Naija Sukhanubhuti, liberation is to experience bliss according to the capacity of the Jiva. Constitutional bliss according to the capacity of the Jiva. And how to do that? Bhaktis chatat sadhanam. The means to attain that liberation is to perform bhakti. So bhakti is the only method by which one can attain liberation and especially eternal service to Lord Vishnu. And there are 3 main pramanas, means of knowledge: Pratyaksha, Anuman, and Shabda. Most of us know what are the 3 pramanas. Pratyaksha means gaining knowledge by direct sense perception. Anuman means logical inference and logical deduction. And Shabda is to verbal testimony or authority of Shastra. That is called as Shabda Praman. And finally, Akhilamnayaika Vedyo Hari. Through all the Vedas, only Hari is to be known. So these are the 9 prameyas or 9 topics to be understood in the Vedas according to Sri Madhvacharya. So our 3-part presentation is dedicated to these 9 topics. Today I will be covering only the first topic, that is Hari Sarvottama. Then in the remaining 2 days we will cover 4 topics every day. You know, 2, 3, 4, 5 tomorrow, and 6, 7, 8, 9 day after tomorrow. So this is how I plan to carry out this particular session, 3 sessions. So the first topic is Hari Sarvottama. Vishnu is the greatest entity in all of creation. Today we have to focus upon that. So we can see Sri Madhvacharya is holding a deity of Sri Udupi Krishna in his hands, and Sri Madhvacharya very boldly proclaimed that in all the Vedic literature it is not Brahma which is the supreme truth. So actually it is Bhagavan Vishnu who is the supreme truth. Hari is Sarvottama. The supreme truth is Hari. Because somebody may say, oh, Brahma is Vishnu. Brahman is nothing but Vishnu. But it's a very dangerous statement to make. Why is it a dangerous statement to make? Because in a statement, what are you putting as the subject and what are you putting as the predicate? That is very important. Subject is known as Uddeshya, predicate is known as Vidheya. So what is the subject and predicate? That is very important. If you reverse the subject and predicate, then the entire meaning of the sentence changes. For example, uh, if we say, humans are mammals, so the subject is humans and the predicate is mammals. And if we reverse it, mammals are humans, then the entire meaning changes. So what is the subject and what is the predicate? That should be very carefully noted. So when we say Brahma is Vishnu, so impersonal Brahman is nothing but Vishnu. So that is a dangerous statement. If we say Vishnu is Brahma, that is okay for us. Why? Because Vishnu is given first priority. So that is the statement that we like to make. Vishnu comes out at the top. So the first prameya or the first truth to be understood is Harihi Sarvottamaha. Hari is the topmost entity in all of creations. This truth should be understood by all of us. Harihi Sarvottamaha. So somebody may ask Sri Madhvacharya that how did you come to this conclusion that Harihi Sarvottamaha, that Hari is the topmost entity in all of creation? Because in the Vedas there are so many conflicting statements which proclaim many deities to be the supreme. For example, in the Rig Veda it is said, Hiranyagarbha Samavartatagre, 8th Mandal, 7th Sukta, hymn 3rd, it is said, Hiranyagarbha Samavartatagre. Agre Samavartata. The firstborn personality is Hiranyagarbha, Brahma. So Brahma is the firstborn personality, says Rig Veda. Okay. Then in the Upanishads it is said, Eko Rudro na Dvitiyaya. The only controller of this world is Rudra, Bhagavan Shiva, na Dvitiyaya. It is not controlled by anybody else. So, some parts of the Vedas are proclaiming Brahma to be supreme. Some parts are proclaiming Rudra to be supreme. Then in Rig Veda again it is said, Indro yato Vasitasya Raja. That of all the living entities who are in this creation, Indra is the Raja, Indra is the king. So in the Vedas, in this way, we will find so many deities to be mentioned, and these deities are conflicting with each other, as to who is the supreme. Somebody may read all of this and say, then who is the supreme? Hiranyagarbha is the supreme, Rudra is the supreme, or Indra is the supreme. And Adi Shankaracharya will say, don't worry, they are all transformations of Brahma. Actually, Brahma is supreme. There is no personality. No personality is supreme. Only Brahman is supreme. And Hiranyagarbha, Rudra, Indra, they are nothing but Maya's transformation. So Brahma takes various forms. And Indra is one form, Brahma is one form, Rudra, Shiva is another form. They are all transformations of Maya. The original substance is Brahman. This is what Sri Adi Shankaracharya's philosophy will say. And Sri Madhvacharya, however, points out to a very specific sukta or very specific hymn in the Rig Veda, which is called as Lakshmi Sukta. He says in the Vedas itself, it can be understood as to who is the Supreme. And he points out to this Lakshmi Sukta, in which Lakshmi Devi is saying, Yam kamaye tam tamugram krinomi, tam brahmanam tam rishim sumedha, aham rudraya dhanuratanomi. So Lakshmi Devi says, Yam kamaye tam, if I desire, Lakshmi Devi says, tam ugram pranomi, I make him Rudra, I make him Shiva. Tam Brahmanam, and I can make him Brahma. Tam Rishim Sumedha, make him a very intelligent sage like Brahma. Aham Rudraya Dhanuratanomi, and it is me, Lakshmi, who has bestowed the Dhanu, the bow, Pinak, the bow of Shiva unto him. And this is given in Lakshmi Sukta of Rig Veda. This is 10th Mandal, 125th Sukta, 5th hymn. And Lakshmi Devi then herself says in the immediate preceding verse, preceding hymns, Mamayoni Rapsvantah Samudre. But my birth is from that personality who is within the Samudra, who is within the ocean. So that is, she is referring to Garbhodashai Vishnu. So Sri Madhvacharya says that Lakshmi is above all these personalities, Brahma, Shiva, Indra, etc. And Lakshmi herself says that she is, her source lies in the personality who is within the Garbhodaka ocean. So according to this direct words of the Vedas, Sri Madhvacharya proves that Harihi Sarvottamaha, that Hari is the supreme personality. Now, if Sri Adi Shankaracharya is asked that what is your opinion, or what is in your opinion, who is Vishnu? What is the position of Vishnu? Who is Vishnu? So, Sri Adi Shankaracharya's position is clearly defined as follows. Maya avachinnam chaitanyam parameshwarah. In the Vedanta Paribhasha, it is said, Supreme Lord is covered by Maya. That is known as Ishvara, Parameshwara. So when Brahma is covered by Maya, he becomes the Supreme Lord, Parameshwara. Now, if Brahma becomes covered by Maya, if the impersonal becomes covered by, its own energy and takes a form as Vishnu, then in such a philosophy, who is more powerful, Brahma or Maya? Because the covering is more powerful than what is covered. Therefore, the covering is able to cover it. So, many individuals very clearly identified that Maya is being given unnecessary power in this philosophy. Another place, another book of Adi Shankaracharya Sampradaya, Panchadashi, it says, Maya bimbo vashikritya tam syat sarvagya ishwarah. So he who is Ishwar is a form within the domain of Maya, Maya bimbaha. And even though he is within Maya, he is able to control that Maya, and therefore he is known as Ishwara. So this is Panchadashi, another literature of Adi Shankaracharya Sampradaya. So very clearly, it is mentioned that Ishvara or Bhagavan is covered by Maya in Adi Shankaracharya Sampradaya. And therefore, since he is covered by Maya in Adi Shankaracharya Sampradaya, and Maya is given an ability to cover even Brahma or even Ishwar, therefore Maya is the supreme entity in this philosophy. Therefore, many people started calling it Mayavad, the philosophy in which Maya is the supreme. Because Maya is covering even the Supreme Lord, then it should be called Mayavad. That is what it should be called. Now, Sri Madhvacharya came and directly spoke against this. Sri Madhvacharya says, Panchabhutatmakam deho Vishnu pashyantya yoginah tathana yogi radhanto jnanam deho hareriti. Now, Madhvacharya is not simply, doesn't want to simply argue against Adi Shankaracharya, but he finds it very inconsistent to say that, what Adi Shankaracharya said previously. Let's see this. Supreme Lord is covered by Maya. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself says, ye mam prapadyante maya metam tarantite. Those who surrender unto me, they cross over Maya. So if they surrender to Krishna, they can cross over Maya. But if Sri Adi Shankaracharya says that Krishna himself is a form covered by Maya, then how can Krishna help somebody else in crossing over Maya? So first Krishna should cross over Maya in such a philosophy. So therefore, in this philosophy becomes inconsistent with many of the words of Bhagavan himself. Maya adhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. So in Bhagavad Gita it is said, she is under my guidance. Maya adhyakshena prakriti. Maya is under my guidance. So many such statements are there by the Lord himself, which clearly prove that the Lord is never covered by Maya. Lord is in fact the controller of Maya. But in Adi Shankaracharya's philosophy, it is very clearly said, Maya avachinnam chaitanyam parameshwara. Supreme Lord is covered by Maya. Now, if Supreme Lord is covered by Maya, then his body will be made out of Maya. Then his form is made out of Maya. Then his qualities are made out of Maya. They agree, yes, it is all made out of Maya. And which means Krishna's name, form, qualities are all temporary and subject to destruction. So this is the implication of accepting Mayavad, that Krishna's name, Krishna's form, Krishna's qualities, Krishna's pastimes become temporary products of Maya, and ultimate truth remains only impersonal Brahman. So actually, any form of any entity is Maya. That is what they will say. So Sri Madhvacharya very clearly said, Panchabhutatmakam deho Vishnu pashyanti ayogina tathana yogi radhanto jnanam deho hareriti. Sri Madhvacharya in his Bhagavad Tatparya Nirnaya very clearly said, ignorant non-yogi, so he is using a very strong word. Ignorant non-yogi is ayoginaha. Think of the body of Lord Vishnu as made out of Panchabhuta, as made out of 5 material elements. Tathana yogi radhanto. Yogis aware of the true conclusions don't see like this. How do they see his body? Jnanam deho hareriti. They see his body as composed of true eternal knowledge. Lord Krishna's body, Lord Vishnu's body, they are composed Satchidananda Vigraha. This is the truth of Bhagwan Vishnu's existence. Because if we say that Vishnu himself is covered by Maya, then Vishnu's body will be made out of Maya. Then it means just like we are getting a body out of Maya, then Vishnu has also gotten a similar body made out of Maya. And if Vishnu has also gotten a similar body made out of Maya, then Vishnu will also become subject to the unhappiness and happiness of the material world. Whereas the fact is that there is no material happiness or material distress which can ever at any point of time touch Lord Vishnu. There are so many statements in the Bhagavad Gita which proclaim the glory of Lord Vishnu. It is said in the Bhagavad Gita, I am reading a few statements. Aham Krishnasya jagatah prabhavah pralayasthatha. I am the creator, destroyer of the universe. Mattah parataram nanyam nyanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. There is no truth higher than me. Dvavimau purushau loke ksharashchakshara evacha. Sharah sarvani bhutani kutastho akshara uchyate. I am the akshara purusha in this universe. So, and he also says, Atosmi loke vedecha prathitah purushottam. I am the greatest purusha in this entire world, as also proclaimed in the Vedas. Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana. Krishna says, there is no duty for me in all these 3 worlds. Bhagavad Gita 10.8, he says, Mattah sarvam pravartate. Everything comes from me. Then he 10.2 he says aham adir hi devanam maharshinam cha sarvashah. I am the beginning of all the gods, of all the sages. Maya dhyakshena prakriti suyate characharam. Mai sarvamidam protam sutre manigana iva. So then in ninth chapter Krishna says sarva bhutani kauntaya prakritim yanti mamikam. So all the living entities, they are belonging to my prakriti. So all the living entities are being controlled by me. Mameva ye prapadyante maya metam taranti te. 7.14 he says, those who surrender unto me, they cross over Maya. So Veda ischa sarvairahameva vedya. So this is so many pramanas given by Bhagavan Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita. So many pramanas. And so many pramanas are there. How can somebody think of Lord Hari as being a product of Maya? He is not like a jiva, he is not covered by Maya. So therefore, Mayavad is something which is of serious concern to Vaishnavas, very serious concern. So we have immense respect for the personal character, for the renunciation, for all the good qualities that Sri Adi Shankaracharya displayed. But as far as the philosophy or explanation of the Prasthanatrayi is concerned, we have very serious reservations about it. It doesn't match what Krishna has said in the Bhagavad Gita. Doesn't match. And when this Mayavad is applied to Vishnu, that Vishnu is nothing but a temporary form. Brahma, it gets covered by Maya, becomes Vishnu, Krishna, Ram, Parshuram, Balram, takes so many forms. Then it goes on extending. Then, that Brahma is also Ganesh, that Brahma is also Shiv, that Brahma is also Devi, that Brahma is also Surya. So you can worship any of the Pancha Devatas. You can worship Surya also and then attain Brahma. Then you can worship Devi and attain Brahma. You can worship Shiva and attain Brahma. You can worship Vishnu and attain Brahma. You can worship Ganesh and attain Brahma. You can worship any deity and attain Brahma. And then gradually this goes on deteriorating. So recently, then it deteriorates into what we see recently, that anybody proclaims to be Bhagwan. That today I am Bhagwan. Somebody starts saying, and if you ask them, how are you Bhagwan? It's because I am Brahma. If I am Bhagwan. So this is how the gradual degradation takes place of any system of religiosity. So Sri Madhvacharya, he wanted to prevent such a misunderstanding, and in strong words he said that anybody who sees Lord Vishnu's body as made out of 5 material elements is a yogi. A yogi means that person does not understand what is the truth. Actual yogis are aware of the fact that Krishna's body is Satchidananda Vigraha. So this is the conclusion. Then other Vaishnava Acharyas also had, previous to Madhvacharya also, Vaishnava Acharyas had given the same conclusion. For example, Sri Ramanujacharya in the Shri Bhashya, he had very clearly said in the Jigyasa Adhikaran, in the very first sutra, Sri Ramanujacharya said, Brahma Shabdena, whenever we use the term Brahma, impersonal Brahma, whatever we say Brahma, so we should not call it impersonal. What is Brahman? He said, Brahma Shabdena Swabhavato Nirasta Nikhila Dosho Anavadika Atishaya Asankhya Kalyana Gunagana Purushottamo Vidhiyate. So Ramanujacharya says, by the term Brahman, Supreme Lord Vishnu, Purushottam Vishnu is denoted. And what is that Vishnu? Swabhavato nirasta nikhila dosha, is faultless by his very nature and eternally equipped with unlimited auspicious transcendental qualities. Atishaya, Asankhya, Kalyana, Gunagana. So that is Brahman. So don't call Brahman as that impersonal, fluid which is everywhere in the universe and nobody can see it or touch it or taste it or smell it. That is not Brahma. Brahma indicates Vishnu. That is very clear opinion of Sri Ramanujacharya in his Sri Bhashyam introduction. So other Vaishnava Acharyas also are exactly on the same page as Sri Madhvacharya when it comes to proclaiming the superiority of Hari. So many times In the Shri Sampradaya, whenever they begin recitation of a Vedic mantra, they will begin with Harihi Om. So they always begin with Harihi Om, not simply Om. So Harihi Om, Harihi Om means actually Hari is the supreme absolute truth in the Vedas. Always a reminder. Harihi Om. So Hari is the personality denoted by the term Om. So that is something which Vaishnava Acharyas have very clearly proclaimed. Now, Sri Vallabhacharya also in the western side of India, Sri Vallabhacharya also very clearly accepted this conclusion. Sri Vallabhacharya in his Anubhashya, he says, Janita paramam tattvam yashodot sangalalitam tadanyam iti ye prahur asuram stanaho buddha. Very strong words. Sri Vallabhacharya said, Aho Buddha, O intelligent souls, Janita, understand, Paramam Tattva, the supreme truth, to be Yashodot Sangalalitam, to be the one who is being nourished in the lap of Yashoda. Understand Krishna as the absolute truth. Krishna comes above Brahma. Krishna is the resting place of Brahman. It's not that Brahman is the resting place of Vishnu or Hari or Krishna. Krishna is the resting place of all other tattvas. Tadanyam iti ye prahur, those who speak otherwise. Asuram stan. So janita. So understand them to be asuras, or understand them to be demons. Basically, is using a very strong word here, Sri Vallabhacharya in his Anubhashya on Vedanta Sutra. Now, Sri Nimbarkacharya in his writings also, he also has very clearly spoken of this. So Sri Nimbarkacharya in his commentary also, he has spoken of this. And what does Sri Nimbarkacharya says? Sri Nimbarkacharya says, Swabhavato upasta samasta dosham ashesha kalyana gunaika rashim yuhanginam brahma param varenyam dhyayema krishnam kamalekshanam harim. Same conclusion. स्वभावतोपास्त समस्त दोषम अशेष कल्याण गुणैक राशिम व्यूहांगिनम ब्रह्म परम वरेण्यम ध्यायेम कृष्णम कमलेक्षणम हरिम. So ध्यायेम, we meditate on कमलेक्षणम कृष्णम हरिम, lotus eyed Krishna, who is swabhavatopasta samasta dosham, who by his very swabhav, by his very nature free of all faults, and ashesha kalyana gunaika rashim, an eternal personality having unlimited auspicious qualities. Vyuhanginam Brahma Param Varenyam, Supreme Brahman. So that is our Lord Krishna. So Sri Nimbarkacharya's commentary to Brahma Sutra, he has very clearly mentioned this thing. So all the Vaishnava Acharyas have given this conclusion that Shri Harihi is Sarvottama, that Hari is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the personality who should be understood from all the Vedas. If you spend your entire life in understanding Brahma, then there is no specific personality that we will get attached to. And then we will see all personalities as creations of Maya. And then if we start seeing also Lord Krishna as Maya, made out of Maya, then we have, surrendered ourselves to the philosophy known as Mayavad. So we don't want to surrender ourselves to that philosophy. Lord Hari's body is Satchidananda. Our philosophy, what do the Gaudiya Vaishnavas think? We are straight in line with Madhvacharya. Ishvaraha, Paramaha, Krishna. Very simple in Brahma Samhita. There is very clearly proclaimed Ishvaraha, Paramaha, Krishna. That the Supreme Lord is who? Krishna. That is, and Satchidananda Vigraha. Immediately disproving Mayavad philosophy. What is his body made out of? Satchidananda Vigraha. Anadir Adir Govindaha Sarva Karana Karanam, cause of all causes. He is not caused by Brahman, he is the cause of Brahman. So he is the one on whom Brahman is resting. It is not that Krishna's form is resting upon the impersonal Brahman. This is Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. This is our philosophical position which proclaims that Harihi Sarvottamaha. Hari is the Sarvottama, the supreme personality in all the Vedas. So this is the first prameya, dear devotees, to be understood. Now, many places in the Upanishads, it is said that Brahma has no qualities. A Shabda, a Sparsha, a Rupa, no quality, no form, no sound, no taste, no touch. And in some other places in the Upanishads, it is said Sarva Rasa, Sarva Gandha, Sarva Nama. He has all qualities, he has all names, he has all forms. So in the Vedanta Sutra, Sri Adi Shankaracharya takes both these positions and he says actually only one of them should be accepted, that the impersonal Brahman has no form, no qualities, no nothing. All form, all qualities are nothing but a covering of Maya. But the Vaishnavas say that whenever the Vedic scriptures are saying that the Brahman has no form, no qualities, it is referring to material form or material qualities. And whenever the scriptures say that the Lord has all forms, all qualities, it means he has all unlimited auspicious spiritual forms, unlimited auspicious spiritual qualities. So this is the explanation of the Vaishnava Acharyas. So this, dear devotees, is our first prameya that I tried to explain today. So, thank you very much, dear devotees.